shortcomings. Jesus' name, I pray.
Amen.
There are a lot of shortcomings that I have. Okay, so tonight, we're gonna kind of do a two-barrel thing. The first thing is I want to cover last week because Ron and Barbie know it. Oh, but wait, let me say it again. Ron and Barbie know what we did last week.
Yes, we do.
You're the only ones that know.
Yes, they know, but I think we need to talk about that just for a second before we move on, so that you guys, and so the internet, if you got anybody kind of following along out there, they can find out what's going on. So, we're gonna start with what happened with Noah. So Noah, after he got off the ark, he became a farmer. He actually became a vineyard. That's the person who tends to a vineyard. Okay, y'all got it? Pretty easy, right? And something happens when you just do a vineyard or a vineyard. What happens?
That's all a lie.
You have to check it, don't you, Mary? Yeah. Mary has her own vineyard, 2 acres, right behind her. But, yeah, you gotta check it. But the problem is, he drank to excess and passed out drunk. Now, the problem is, he passed out drunk without any clothes on. And you're thinking, well, is that a real problem? Is that truly a sin?
I really can't say anything.
Okay, we're not delving into anybody's past. We're just delving with Noah right here. So, is
Flashback.
becoming drunk like that, is that a sin?
Well, the Bible says don't drink excessively.
Don't drink excessively. What happens when you drink excessively?
You do what Noah does.
On to the next step.
That's what. Well, as the song was, tequila makes your clothes fall off, maybe the wine made it.
Live, right?
You lost it. That's over.
I'm thinking, I don't have any more control over glass.
Was Noah's son's same David?
Well, now, let's take that for a second.
Yeah.
Him being naked in his tent and drunk. The real sin here is that Noah allowed something to come between him and God. He allowed his drinking to come between him and God.
First instance of our life.
It is the first, matter of fact, drunkenness was not one of the sins that was talked about that God punished the world with. It was not mentioned. So I think this is God's way of mentioning it with poor Noah. Okay? So you can do that however you want. I am not judging anybody. I can't drink. I really can't. You know why? Because I have an obsessive personality. I start, I won't stop. Okay? Just not gonna happen. And I told Barbie I can be really good on the first half can of beer. I'm done. So, So, just knowing what my personality is. What was the reaction of the son? So I'm gonna assume that you guys kind of have read the story before. In the story, Noah's son, the youngest one, and his name was,
Ham.
thank you, because I told her, I said, I'm gonna get them all mixed up tonight again.
Ham fits in her. Yeah.
Ham is the youngest. And Ham found his father in his tent naked. And what did he do?
We laughed at him. Told his brothers.
He laughed at him and went and told his brother. Now, are the 10 Commandments written yet?
Nope.
But it doesn't necessarily say that he laughed at it. It just says that he saw and then went and told his brother.
It says,
Let me get, depending upon translation.
yeah, but maybe I should read it. Ham,
Yeah, it's right. He just told his two brothers.
yeah, he went and told his two brothers. And the father of Canaan saw his nakedness, it says Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew that his younger son had done unto him. Okay? Now, I left, first off is, there are many speculations about what was done to Noah. That's all the Bible says. But I am gonna say this, somehow he disrespected and Noah knew it.
So I think it's the Greek that's the term that it says he saw that we talked about is L-I-T, or I don't know how it's pronounced, it's L-I-T, which means that he, in the Greek, it means he gazed with satisfaction. So you could say, I guess you would say, he laughed at him, or he, I don't know, it's because of the way it's worded, it's hard to describe what went on there.
The way I've always taken it is that he disrespected him by gazing upon his name.
And seeing him in his sin.
Well, seeing him in a state and not caring for him. And that's where I was getting to the point. What does the Ten Commandments tell us about how you're supposed to treat your father and mother? Honor? Yeah. Yeah. More than once I had to put my dad in the shower. More than once I had to drive off to get him out of the shower. Now, I wasn't disrespecting, but, and I sure wish I could have paid somebody else to do that. But I was honoring him by taking care of him. This was not the kind of honor that we had from him. Now, here's my next question. The reaction of the other two boys was what? Respect. Total respect, right? They turned their backs, they put the cover on them, and they walked backwards into the tent. Now, my life, there would have been something giant right there, and then fell upside down and landed right in the middle of Noah. Yeah, that's what would happen to. But they walked backwards, and they threw the cover over Noah, and they did it with respect, and they turned around, or they didn't turn around, they walked right back out of the tent. Did not look up on it, and that's what it's saying. So, and again, how we should treat our parents? With respect and honor. Even if it's for their own good and they don't agree with it. Whoops, here we go. Now, in the deal, after this, start with verse 24, chapter 9, it goes. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew that his younger son had done to him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan. But wait, was Canaan even there? Was Canaan there? Are you sure?
We don't know.
Well, we don't know for sure. Pretty much know it was little Ham that caused the problem. But why did he curse Canaan?
Because God had blessed him. Come off the ark.
Verse 9:1, it says, God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Evidently, Canaan was already showing signs of being, forgive my terminology at work, okay? And so he was showing signs of the bad seed, I guess. And Noah cursed him because he couldn't curse Ham. Because Ham was blessed. Noah did not want to curse someone that's already blessed. That makes sense. And you will learn later what's the prophet's name in the Talmud. The prophet's name, and he had
Balaam.
Huh?
Balaam.
Balaam. And he was going to curse the children of Israel. And that's when God said he could, because he had blessed them. And so for 3 times the king paid him to curse the children of Israel, and 3 times he blessed them, because he could. So it already set the standard. We already know from this story that you can't curse something that's blessed by God. It's not the Lord. So, matter of fact, that's a great story. Somebody will study that. All right, here we go. So to sum this up, so that we get caught up to where we're fixing to go to tonight. Noah got drunk. Ham disrespected his father. Noah cursed Ham, and God still saved Noah. What does this tell you? You can make a mistake and still be saved, right? Good. Tonight, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 10. We're going to read all 32 verses. Jeremy, you got them all down yet? That's okay, 'cause I don't either. So I'm going to let it read to us, but let me make sure it's going to play the words before we go. Well, we have
If it's not listed on Booking.com, it's invisible to the millions of travelers on our platform. Don't let your vacation rental be invisible.
all 8
Get
seconds.
seen, get booked. On Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
Now this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodani. From these, the coastline peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. The sons of Ham were Cuth, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Reumah, and Sabteka. And the sons of Reumah were Sheba and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Calah, and Resen, between Nineveh and Calah. That is the principal city. Mizraim begot Ludim, Anamim, Lehabim, Naphtuhim, Pathrusim, and Casluhim, from whom came the Philistines, and Caphtor. Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, and the Sinite, the Arvadite, the Zamorite, and the Hamathite. Afterward, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed, and the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as you go towards Gerar, as far as Gaza. Then, as you go toward Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and as far as Lasha. These were the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands and in their nations. And the children were born also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. To Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan begat Almulek, Shileth, Hazarmaveth, Jira, Adoram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Opher, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling place was from Mesha as you go towards Sephar, the mountain of the east. These were the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands, according to their nations. These were the families of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, in their nations, and from these the nations were divided on the earth after the flood.
Okay, I'm gonna have every confidence Jeremy would answer. That's it, all I said, he's got those names down, he can handle it. So I'm gonna tell you right now, until that guy read it, I wasn't even close to some of those names. So why does it matter about the genealogy? Why is that important? Barbie, is there anybody in your family we can talk about?
Pick one. Too bad they don't know him, but yeah.
Or don't we have somebody in your family that rode with the Dolphin gang?
Yes,
Yes. She has outlaws in her family.
yes, I do.
Famous outlaws.
The younger brothers and the Dalton gang.
They were good characters. And what was that uncle's name?
Oh my gosh.
Bonds?
Bonds, yes,
His
Uncle
name was
Bonds.
Uncle
Bonds?
Bonds,
Outlaw.
Fonz, Bonds.
Yeah. Remember Fonzie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He
was
was
the same.
Fonzie before Fonzie.
Well,
So,
and Pretty Boy Floyd too was, he hung out at my grandmother's bar.
We come from a long line of good people.
you know, Bernard Floyd came through here once or twice too, probably. Yeah. I know in the film he did. Okay, so I make fun of that, but what's the furthest back that you know in your genealogy? What is the furthest back you know?
Mother of George Washington,
What about that?
sort of our relative.
We have
That's
her first
That's
cousin,
her first cut.
but I want to tell you, there's a giant leap in that genealogy. Do you guys know your furthest back? How many of you know your great grandparents? I do.
Know their name, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I just know their names.
Yeah, but you know the name.
But I didn't know.
What about your great great grandparents? Do you know theirs?
I have to look it up.
You'd have to look it up. Okay. So really, we go back 3 generations, we start to forget who our people are. Right? So how far back do we know the genealogy of Christ?
All the way.
All the way back.
All the way to who?
He's always been.
Way back there. That's why this is important, okay? So we know where Christ came. Well, I think I need to click. Okay, I'm gonna cheat today. I get it to go. I'm.
Hey, bud, it was like, it's my.
You know all those names that were just read to us?
I heard it.
There they all are. I want to draw your attention to something. That number. Y'all seen that number? 892 years from Noah's birth until Abraham's birth. Now, why is that number important? Because when Noah had the first grandson, he was 602 years old. If you read at the very last verse of chapter 9, it says, all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Noah was still alive when Abraham was born.
Fascinating thing.
He was about, when Noah finally died, Abraham was 58 years old. That's pretty interesting. I was shocked, because in my mind, from Noah to Abraham is like forever. And then I go, well, it is forever. It's 892 years. Do you know if you go back 800 years from now, go backwards? You know that's 1300s, the age of the knights. Y'all know that? That's crazy.
But the thing was that he probably never saw him.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because they went off to different lands, but I don't know.
So Abraham stayed in that region because he landed in the Ur of the Chaldeans, which is the land of Shinar, same place. So they didn't really leave. And again, we don't know what Noah did afterwards. But,
Well, I think we got a pretty good clue with the story.
well, right.
He raised the vineyard.
Right. I don't think Noah left. I think Noah planted himself there.
Yeah.
So, okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, and it's just,
That's what I thought they had gone off in a different
the fascinating thing is that you look at all the different cultures that are around the world, and you have the similarities in the stories, but you also have some very similar stories in the aspect of, like, one man was the one who built the ark, or it was one person built the ark itself. And then therefore, several of the stories talk about the ancient man that lives still, and it references that this like really old guy that could go and he was sought out wisdom. Some say that could be Noah. But again, the stories vary, but the majority of them stay pretty close to
What's
the same story of,
Okay, hold on.
of the flood and Noah.
Okay, Barbie, what is the purpose of the Bible?
to tell the relationship between God and man.
All right. So, say that again.
To tell the relationship between God and man. Is tell the right word I'm looking for?
Well,
We'll give it a narrative.
Yeah, it's just between God and man's relationship and how that pertains to that.
and it gets us all the way to our relationship
Yes.
with Christ.
Yes.
Okay, so it's,
Say the Old Testament leads to Christ.
okay, so it's all there. So what you're saying is good. God introduces people into the Bible, and if it does not pertain to our relationship with Christ, they're dropped. They go away. So the only son that really matters of Noah is who?
All this other
Well, which one is that one?
Arpix?
No, that's the grandson. The son,
Oh, sorry, Shem.
him.
Yeah.
Okay, and the guy that's important is this guy. And and notice there's not any women, because they only deal with men's side, sorry.
Except for that.
Yeah, I know, we'll get there. All right, and if you go all the way down through here, you'll notice that we get to this guy right here. Do you know who he is? He's the father of Abraham. Terah is the father of Abraham. Okay? And that makes this line from Abraham, we can now trace from Abraham all the way to Christ. Right, Zach? Right. Okay. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to walk away and not come back for 30 minutes, and y'all figure this out. Okay? Because the problem is I sat down with Marty this afternoon and I said, I have no idea how to teach this at all.
Well, so it's a fascinating thing because some of the names you see really come back to play later on. But again, remember what we're reading is an entire book and it's meant to be read in one setting, or not setting, but when you're reading it, it's like a book, so you would understand the references of names later on in Genesis. You see where several of the encounters Abraham has and his descendants has with the descendants of these others throughout, not only just in Genesis, but also in Exodus, Leviticus. You know, these other names, these pop up periodically.
So, let's see. What's one that we all recognize here? So Ham, there's Canaan. But did you hear this guy's name, Nimrod?
And I
Now,
thought of Cannon.
please don't, you beat me to it, but it's not Canaan I was gonna use, sorry. Ken.
But hey, Cannon, if somebody calls you a Nimrod, it's a compliment. Did you see what he was? A mighty hunter.
But what kind of hunter?
You gotta say, what was he not a hunter of man? Was that
He was a killer of men.
right? Killer of men. He wasn't. He didn't hunt animals. I don't think.
Alan, what were you gonna say?
I'm done.
Don't stop there. Nimrod is the first example of a ruler of the world. Okay, when you think of a king, Nimrod fits that category. When Israel chose their first king, who did they want? What kind of guy was he? He was a man's man. He- Yeah, I know what his name is, but I wanted to get out what he was. He was a man's man. He was giant, big for their people. He was a great fighter in battle. He was all those things that they thought they wanted. And the things they wanted was a Nimrod. And that's really hard for me to say because when I was growing up, they would say, don't be a Nimrod. And I'm going like, okay, but I never really understood what that meant. But Nimrod was not after God's heart. Nimrod was after his own desire. Nimrod was a great hunter, but he was a hunter of men. He was a killer. Okay, probably the first best killer that come about. I'm telling it right, Alan. Because I'm trying hard to get this where it's not like everybody's eyes glaze over and go back to their head. So Nimrod is the most important person to come out of this list, other than what come out with Terah. You guys understand? Because Abraham starts a whole new chapter. So Terah is the one that's important, comes down that line. And here's the next thing. This one line believed mostly in one God. We come to find out Abraham was getting taken away from that theory. And everybody else believed in many gods. I'm going, how? Didn't they come from the same boat? Didn't they ride on the same ship? Didn't they all have the same experience that was shared? Didn't they have a great-great-great-great-great-grandpa that lived for 900 something years, 50 years?
Probably in one generation.
How far away are we from totally not knowing God? One generation. Okay. That one generation doesn't know, it stops with them.
Is there significance why from Canaan to Nimrod, it's dotted lines and all the other lines are solid lines? Is there?
Nimrod was,
He just kind of got dropped in.
no, Nimrod was from Canaan, I thought.
Well, they didn't.
I know.
Sorry.
Okay, don't press me on this.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, I've read it all afternoon today. Barbie told me, says, just get over it. I've read it all afternoon because I cannot sit down and explain this 100%. When I teach it, I want to know it inside and out. I can't. This is just what I'm trying to get this figured out. And so that's why I said, let you guys tell me if you see something in there that you question. Maybe we can all figure it out.
So Nimrod does come from Canaan, but Canaan is his grandfather.
Okay,
And Cush is his father.
okay.
Okay.
And I had a whole nother chart that had that on. Okay. Here's a question I'm gonna throw out there and let y'all answer. You ready? Where did the women come from that they married?
Well, so again, we go back to the same issue that we had with Adam and Eve. So Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives. Well, obviously you would have had them have many children. Well, again, early on, it's likely that many of them married their cousins. Versus like with Adam and Eve, where their sons had many sons and daughters, as to where it's likely that one of their sons married either their sister or niece, something along those lines. So eventually have to go back to the same family that was originally. So they didn't just pop up out of nowhere.
I like my cousins, but I don't like my
But
cousins.
But remember, Dad, I mean, even so much so that you had Abraham married his sister, who was his half-sister. And then you also had Abraham's son was sent back to get a woman from his clan, so a cousin. And so, again, it was not we live in a culture that kissing cousins is a really bad thing. But in this culture, it was not. Up until God placed out the law, they did not do that. But they didn't have a law.
Is there any other ideas? I'm not saying there's wrong. Let's see if anybody else got any other ideas. Now look, y'all can't share over there and not tell.
I was just wondering if he could hear. He's like, run, and I said, well, apparently he can't.
Let me ask this question. When they dispersed, where did the people of different colors come from?
I forget, I believe it's either Shem or Ham. Now, I don't remember, but I believe one of his references dark skin. One of his descendants is dark skin. If I remember, again, done it in there, but
But if there was only the 3 boys and their wives, one of them would have had to have had it in their genes. See?
Kush, we talked about Kush a minute ago. Kush bent dark.
okay.
I'm just adding that in there.
That's what I was.
Okay, well, we can do that, but what about the Chinese and the Asians? Where did that come from? Okay, so y'all are in the same boat I am. Okay?
So there's a really in-depth study on this very subject.
Yeah, there's a term for it, but I forgot.
But yeah, but it goes back because again, we all stem from, I believe it's Japheth. Everyone in this room stemmed from Japheth because that was the group that ventured across into what would be North America and into Europe.
I thought it was deep.
Is it Shem? I get it wrong. I'm sorry. But
If
it's one
you,
of
if you have any European blood.
Yeah.
You're on that side. And if you have any of the Asian blood, this is how the guy wrote it down. So this is not Mark. I'm not claiming this is true. He's claiming this comes from this side.
And
And
Ham is,
Ham is like the Middle East.
Middle Eastern.
I'm thinking though, right now, because whatever Dad claimed we are, Blackfoot, and I'm gonna tell you, my great grandmother was full like Choctaw, because when I got a picture of her, she looks just like Choctaw, 100%. I mean, she does. I mean,
Yeah, he's,
there's no doubt that but she went to the grave, not like she was in it. But here's the thing. Once we get far enough apart, there's not a full blood anything. Not unless they're hard. We got the one stick tree.
It's Mary Singleton's gonna be talking.
Sorry.
now,
If we all came from Adam and Eve, then how did all of this happen? We're just talking about after the flood. We're not, but we started with two, one woman, one man.
But where did the people from Nod come
I'm sorry.
from? Where did the people from Nod come from?
I'm still
Environment.
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 Yes.
Okay, I'll go with that.
You know why I'll say it this way, because animals from North America drift further up into Canada, they're heavier, they're darker colored, they got heavier fur. So you put people in the Middle East in the sun all the time, their skin's gonna turn and adapt to dark where they won't get burned all the time. Put people in Asia, it's light, it's not as hot, it's a cooler environment. I mean, the sun is not as bright there, so your eyes are different. Some people in Alaska, they're gonna be pale skinned because there's not that much sun. It's a cool environment, the environment changes. Affects you.
over
What you
generations,
eat,
but-
what you do.
yeah, absolutely.
That's what
I
changes.
can't disagree with you. Okay. What I'm saying is I don't have an answer.
So say the clan separated with different territories of the earth. Yes, that's what changes them over time.
I can't disagree with you.
But you also have to remember that
I don't
happened.
know where the short people all showed up. All there.
But even that-
I don't know if we were just in charge of picking the low hanging fruit or what.
But with that very thing would have also happened before the flood too. You're right, 'cause the whole earth is, it implies the whole earth is,
Not really, but before the flood, they were all region.
well, it doesn't necessarily say that though. It says the whole earth, and so it references
It
the
said
whole
the
earth.
whole earth. but
Yeah.
They were still, but from Adam and Eve, they were still in that region. They didn't branch out like in boats and go north.
Well, we don't necessarily know that. So that, because there had been, a couple of thousand years happened.
So let me add this one thought back to you. The region that Noah was at, because that's where we finally end up at when we're talking about this story, that has to relate to our relationship with God. So that's the region that gets up in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the only region or if there were other regions. All I know is that's the important region because that's where Noah built the ark. That's where all this took place. And so that's how I said it. Now, y'all do consider it outside the fisticuffs land.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but it's an interesting discussion.
to me though, the miracle is how long did that ark float?
A year,
But when it came to rest at Mount Ararat, how far was Mount Ararat from the Garden of Eden?
we don't know.
Not very far.
Well, we don't know.
Well,
Yeah, because the Garden of Eden had been,
So here's what I'll tell you. My thought is the Garden of Eden is right there right underneath the Persian Gulf.
There's only one place on earth that goes where it grows.
And where's that?
I don't know, but it's only one region. One region that it only grows, and that's what the focus is.
All I'm gonna say is I don't know how far it was. Probably tells you if they're just floating, they didn't go very far. You know, but they floated for a year.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they just didn't stay there and go back down.
No. But. let me
And
give
y'all
you
are
this.
killing my Sunday school stories.
I'm ready to turn the page.
Well, let me add one more thing too, though. When they had the earthquake in Japan, the tsunami, they had stuff float all the way across the west coast of the United States in a year. They came all the way across. So what I'm saying, I don't know. God
But I'm
could've-
also thinking God was in charge of the flood. God could have kept them
What?
right where he wanted them.
wait, what, God was in control of everything?
What?
What?
So Rhonda said we need to turn the page.
God is sovereign, what?
But see, but I told him, because he was figuring out how to do this, and I said, that would be so interesting to put it up there and let us discuss what we thought. Because I mean, I never would have thought what Jeremy was saying about
Yeah,
how the
yeah.
different people in the sun affected. I had never thought of it like that, how people could turn darker, lighter,
Environmental.
environment, yeah.
See,
Environmental.
So I
See,
think
Jeremy and I are on the exact same page. I think everybody was there. I don't think it was till Babel until that people dispersed. We're thinking, we're thinking modern days. There's 300 billion people on the earth or whatever. How many were there?
Yeah.
I mean,
They
It's-
didn't have it, they didn't have
Family.
a motorized boat or a plane to take them.
Well, at one
Right,
point,
I
there
mean-
was only 8.
I'm thinking if, nephew Phil decided he was going to go find America, there'd be something saying that he left. You know?
My question, just so I understand what we're saying, so you're saying that they did not disperse until
Babel.
Babel.
That's my
But you're,
point of view.
but you're going all the way back to Adam and Eve.
No, I'm going from the flood.
From the
Right
flood
here.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to get a grasp of what you're saying. No, I agree, I understand.
Okay, so let me give you back to how long this went on. You guys ready?
Because at the flood, in my mind, there is nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that the entire earth was covered.
Whole world.
That there was no one left.
It wasn't a regional flood that killed the regional area.
And then they went and found wives that were, on the mountains of some other country that didn't get flooded. That didn't work for me. Regardless, I'm not looking at the Bible as a history book anyway, but or as a documented history of mankind. I'm looking at it as a documented history of man's relationship with God. But in that sense, it is the closest thing we have to a record of anything else. And so I just got, I'm not listen, y'all know me, I'm not the most literal guy when it comes to biblical interpretation, but man, this is one of those places where I think it has to be. And I'm just like you, and I think environment changed everybody.
Where do you think, where do you grow a garden?
Where do I grow one?
Yeah, where would
Your
you put a
house.
garden? No, I mean in terrain, where would you put a garden?
Where would I put a garden? It'd be
Low lying.
yeah,
So if you flood the earth and it gets flooded
Hmm.
and all your high crests come up, where would the garden be after the flood?
well, unless it receded exactly the way it was, it's going to be underwater.
That's why they find staircases and stuff under the ocean. It changed it all.
I know. I
The
I
garden might not be
personally
above the
think-
ground, it might
yeah.
be under the
So
water.